In this lesson, we're going to demonstrate how to use the continue statement to cause a while loop to stop in the middle of executing the body and continue with the next iteration of the loop, which means just moving back to the top and testing the relational expression and then continuing back into the body of the loop. Let me show you the general form of the continue statement first, and then we'll look at an example. So we have our while loop and our relational expression. Then we could have some statements or not, just depends on the situation, and then continue, and then more statements. So what happens is that usually continue will be based on some sort of condition. So if that condition is true and the continue statement appears, so let's put it in its context. If, I'm not saying this is the only way continue is used, but it frequently is. So let's go over the loop again. So we go into the loop, we execute some statements, then we test a relational expression. If that relational expression is true and the continue is executed, then control is transferred back to the top of the loop and the relational expression is tested again. If not, and then the other statements are executed and then control is transferred back to the top of the loop. So continue is used if a condition occurs that causes us to not want the remaining statements in the loop body to be executed. Let's look at an example of how that's going to work. So we're going to call this Python program continue. And what we're going to do is we're going to write a program that will take a numerator and a denominator and display the quotient. The numerator and the denominator will be set by the user. And we need a sentinel value here as to when to stop, so we're going to say -1. And that's just an arbitrary value chosen as a sentinel. The first thing we're going to do is prompt the user to enter a numerator, convert the input into floating point, just to be on the safe side. Then we'll ask the user to enter a denominator. Then we'll get the input from the user. Now here's where we'll provide our check. If the denominator is equal to 0, then we want to continue. Otherwise, we want to print the numerator divided by the denominator. And that's the whole of our program. And then we'll stop when the denominator is -1. So let's exit and save, and then run the program and see what we get. So we'll draw a simple one. 4 and 2 is 2.0. Notice that it displays it in floating point. Let's try another one. 34 and 13 is 2.615. Now let's try one with the 0. So we'll say 12 and 0. And notice what happened. We entered a 0 and it takes us right back to the top of the loop where it asks us to enter another numerator. So we'll enter another numerator and a denominator. Then we'll enter a numerator and a -1. And the program stops after it displays the result. So look at the program again. What we're trying to do is we're trying to find a particular condition, denominator equals 0, and avoiding it by not allowing it to actually display the result, which in most computer languages is an error. So by doing that, we just say continue, and then because denominator is not equal to -1, the program brings control back to the top and it asks us to enter a new numerator. So that's how the continue statement is used. Now we're ready to move to the next lesson where we're going to look at another way to change the flow of control of a while loop, and that's using the break statement to immediately exit a loop when a certain condition occurs.